Hi YouTube, Art here again with another Warzone audio video, and this will be my final Warzone audio video for Modern Warfare 2, and I could not be more excited. We get to see some gameplay at COD Next here in a couple days, and I could not be more excited. The good news is, with Season 6, not a lot has changed. The last tweaks that I released for Season 5 still stand and they still work. The only changes are they made loot crates more consistent, and for some reason now, with my tweaks, when you bash through a door, it's much quieter, so that goes along with it. Those are it. That's all the changes. I've played for the last couple days, and that's all I could hear different. What this video will serve as is an intro to the playlist I've created with the full guide. I've learned so much along the way, creating each video and updating it for each season, that all of the information is kind of spread out, so I'm going to touch on the common things people mess up in this video, as well as kind of talk about what we can hope for in the coming title. Before we get into it, I'm going to be watch partying COD Next from a couple streamer friends' POVs, as well as the main broadcast over on my Twitch channel, and during that I will be giving away an MW3 beta code as well as an aim controller. So make sure you follow my Twitch, twitch.tv/art_is_war. We'll be live the morning of Next to go over everything we've seen so far, as well as watch that play out. All right, so I'm just gonna take a second to talk about how the tune works in general, because there seems to be a lot of misunderstanding. People are asking, hey, can I do this without voice meter? The only people that are really capable of doing this without voice meter are people that use the Wavelink software. So if you have a Wave XLR, if you have a Wave mic, or if you have the Stream Deck Plus, you can add the hi-fi cable into that mix and listen to it there. So that's a great way to kind of intro and talk about how this audio tune works. The way I've set this up is I use voice meter and virtual cables to assign different EQs to different devices. Now, the loudness EQ only cable I've retired. Loudness EQ only really doesn't do the job anymore. Ever since they added that occlusion update in Season 5.5, I think, for me, it's just not enough, so I don't use that anymore. Voice meter's main job is to take all of these different virtual cables and route them out to my Realtek hardware, which in my case is that optical cable going to my Go XLR. For you, it could be your headset. It doesn't really matter. Then you set voice meter input as your default device. What this does is assure that when you play back a YouTube video or a stream, or you play a game and it's using your default device, it's not going to use any of the audio tunes, because the virtualized 7.1 cable and all those EQ and effects that are installed on this hi-fi cable only work for Call of Duty. You should not use it in any other games. If you have used it in other games and it works, shoot me a DM. I'd love to know. So voice meter must be used. Without it, you can't listen to that cable. There are other ways to listen to just that cable, but that takes away your ability to play other games and watch streams without any kind of tweaks affecting your experience. And then if I'm going to tell you, oh, go into this software and turn these things off, the likelihood of y'all breaking that in the process is incredibly high. So I designed it this way to use voice meter so you can just kind of set it and forget it, because this device makes sound, and I hear it here. It has no EQ. This device is the old loudness EQ only in stereo, that if I test it, I can hear it. And then this is my fancy surround sound with loudness EQ and all the extra EQ on it that I can also hear because of voice meter. So without voice meter, you don't get that level of control, unfortunately. Another issue I saw a lot of people running into is they would say they would get this renderer work error or something, some type of renderer error on YouTube when they were watching the guide and trying to follow it and install it. The reason why is when at a certain point when you're choosing what device to use voice meter on and all of that, you're listening to it over the hardware device. When voice meter chooses that hardware device, voice meter essentially holds that device captive or exclusive within Windows, so nothing else can use it. So Chrome, or whatever your browser is, breaks whenever you do that step. The easiest way to avoid this is watch it somewhere else, right? Pull it up on your phone, watch the guide, do it on your PC. First things first, you want to make sure you're on the most up-to-date EQ and Hisuvi profiles. Those are included in the Season 5.5 video. A big thing people are missing is installing Equalizer APO on the virtual cables correctly the first time. If you don't do this step right the first time, you'll have to uninstall the hi-fi cable and reinstall it. The first time you run Configurator, which is when you install Equalizer APO, and in the guide I tell you to put it on the hi-fi cable, which I've already renamed here, You want to select the name of that cable. This goes for the other loudness EQ cable as well. You want to select that name of the cable in blue and click troubleshooting. The first time you install it, you want to make sure this says LFX/GFX for both devices. Then you hit OK. It'll ask you if you want to reboot. You can reboot. Then, when you do the PowerShell step, make sure you're running PowerShell as administrator. You must run PowerShell as administrator. PowerShell would just hang during this step. So on some PCs and on some people I've helped, when you enter this step and you follow all these steps and you type the name here, it will just sit there. You have to wait. You just have to wait. It will eventually populate and work. You just must wait for it to say importing loudness registry. Now this step will not work if you don't run it as admin and if you don't install Equalizer APO first on the Hi-Fi cable. This step of installing Equalizer APO on the Hi-Fi cable adds a flag to that device that then allows loudness EQ to be installed on it. So those are all important things to note. I can't do it because I've already done it on my PC, but once the loudness EQ enables and this computes out and you go back to it just saying C Windows System 32, you can close it and you do need to run configurator again. So you need to run configurator again on the Hi-Fi cable and the loudness EQ cable if you're still using it, and you need to click troubleshooting one more time, and you have to install it again as LFX/GFX. Now how you get here is you click troubleshoot here while having the name of the device selected in blue. It must have all 4 of these checkboxes enabled and say LFX/GFX. If you're in a place where it doesn't have all 4 of these enabled, you need to uninstall the Hi-Fi cable, reinstall it, and then follow the steps of running configurator on it, enabling loudness EQ, and then running it again. Each time you run configurator, making sure it says LFX/GFX here. The second time, after doing the PowerShell step, making sure all 4 boxes here are checked. Another thing that people seem to get hung up on is the bad audio driver error that Voicemeeter throws sometimes. It's because y'all are missing a step in the Season 4.5 video at about 13 minutes. I talk about it, so I'm gonna just let that play right now. Voicemeeter here, it didn't do it for me. But it'll say error, bad pin outs. It's just because you've renamed things. If you really want to get rid of it, you can go to the installer inside of program files. So if you're getting that error, it's because I decided to tell everybody to rename the audio devices to 7.1 plus loudness EQ and all of that. So you need to go to the directory shown on the screen here, which is C, program files 86, VB Voicemeeter, and there is a .exe in there called VB device check. VB Voicemeeter, and delete an app in there called. Once you delete this VB device check.exe and delete it from the recycle bin, you won't get that error anymore and it won't break Voicemeeter. Another error people were worried about was this error that would pop up whenever you would open Equalizer APO. This error is nothing to worry about. Remember, I said to set your default device to Voicemeeter input because this does not have any of the EQ installed on it. This will be vanilla audio. This will be non-affected, non-EQ'd, normal stereo audio for YouTube, for Twitch streams, and for other games that you play on the PC. This error says Equalizer APO has not been installed to the selected device. Do you want to run configurator? The reason it's saying this is because the default device is Voicemeeter output, and it's saying, hey, it's not installed on here, as you can tell from here, because the only devices that have it installed on are my 7.1 plus loudness EQ device and my old loudness EQ device. This is okay. That error is nothing to worry about. It's simply saying, hey, your default device doesn't have these settings on it. Do you want it? And you don't, because that default device is your plain Jane audio. Like I mentioned earlier in the video as well, I put together this whole audio guide now into a playlist. That will be the very first link in the description. If you still did want help with this audio tune, I am still offering appointments. The link to my Calendly, where I offer a whole bunch of services, will be down below in the description. In terms of audio for the next title, I have high hopes that the system's gonna work with just a couple little tweaks needed here and there. Why? Because Call of Duty is moving to a system where we all existed within Call of Duty HQ. The application on the PC is Call of Duty HQ. There's going to be a base installer. They've already said that to play the beta, you will need the Call of Duty HQ base installed. So that means it seems like Call of Duty is going to operate from the same central hub and probably use the same central systems. The way my system works is it fools Call of Duty into thinking you're actually playing on a 7.1 surround sound system. And then through a series of open source EQ and audio applications, I'm able to kind of tweak and massage that 7.1 surround sound into a more competitive stereo mix, better than the game can. I think games kind of master for 7.1 because it does end up in like dad home theater setups and people with actual surround sound receivers. So they master for that, and then they slap a stereo conversion on it. And that's what we get when we play on stereo headsets. So this system seems to really eke out a lot more definition and directionality. And I don't think that it's going to change a whole bunch outside of, like I said, little EQ changes and range changes and that kind of stuff. So I'm very hopeful for the next game. I'm going to be playing the beta on console as soon as it drops on the 6th. We'll be watch partying COD next. I'll be giving away a beta code and a controller from AIM. Shout out to them for always hooking me up with that kind of stuff. So make sure you follow me over on Twitch. We'll be live for that. And as soon as I get the game on PC, which is going to be October 12th, I believe, then we will really be able to look at what we can do with the audio moving forward. I just wanted to thank everybody for the crazy support as well. It's been a wild year. I worked in the film industry as well, and we've been on strike for 100+ days at this point. So all of the appointments, all of the ordering of affiliate links, the subs on YouTube, the watch time on YouTube, the subs on Twitch, it has all helped me out so much, and I don't know how to thank you all. But I am locked and ready for MW3, and I'm so excited for what the next title brings. As well, I mentioned in my last video that my dog Fig was going through a surgery. She made it out. She got the stitches out. She's okay. We just got to watch the area for growth. So thank you all that wished her well, and I appreciate y'all. So until the next video, when we'll be dropping some more IAM reviews, I'll see you guys then. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, click the bell so you know when I upload another one, and let me know down below what else would you like to see? Maybe a setup tour before the game comes out. So make sure you follow my Twitch, and I will see you guys live for the COD Next watch party. Peace.